on the bench today. I got a John Thread saw. Actually, a friend of mine gave me this, and he had it in his family for quite a while, and it quit running a couple years ago, so he hasn't done anything with it. So normally I don't take a lot of this stuff in for repair because it's just almost impossible to find parts and stuff. But on projects that I'm doing for restoration or personal stuff where I know I can take the time and the money, I do this stuff. This particular model is a 49 SP. So here's a look at the saw right here. The biggest problem with this saw was the piston. So if you take a look at the piston, right there is what was going on with it, keeping the saw from running. There was some other issues with electrical. Let me find the parts here. So if you take a look at this, the wires were actually ripped out of there, and then that wire was wire knotted on with something else, but it was not working, needless to say. I took the carburetor apart, gave it a bath. The screen in the carburetor was completely plugged, so I got my ultrasonic cleaner here. I got to go through and order a rebuild kit. The diaphragm was pretty crunchy. I left it in there overnight, but it seems fairly pliable, but I'll try it. More than likely it is going to need to be rebuilt. Sometimes you can soak those and loosen them up. I was able to find parts lists online. This is pretty nice. Saw was built in 1981, so nice vintage saw. Pretty complete. Got most of the parts here. Everything's actually in really good shape. Even the saw, there's still a ton of paint on it, so I'm not even going to repaint it. Got the original bar and chain on there. So yeah, it's going to be a fun project. Hopefully I can get this thing put together in the next week or so. I got to order a couple parts off of eBay. I did track one of these down. They're about 25 bucks on eBay. Went to Little Red Barn, bought the piston. So if you guys haven't checked them out before, they have a lot of great aftermarket stuff when you're doing some of these vintage saws and you can't find the parts you need, like this piston. The cylinder on it, there was some transfer on there, but it wasn't anything that was deep that I couldn't clean off. So I was able to reuse a cylinder. Just dirty. There was a lot of carbon on the muffler, so I had to take that and open it up quite a bit. There was probably almost a 1/4 inch of closure all the way around by the time you added everything together. So that was quite a bit on that saw. But yeah, I'll get the saw up and running, and I'll do a full-length video, show you guys the tear down and the repairs. And hopefully if you guys got one of these saws, some of this stuff helps you out putting them back together. So anytime I do these vintage saws, since they're all a little bit different and it's really hard to find videos on them, I will videotape everything that I do. As far as the tear down goes, really detailed with all my screw placement and stuff, so I remember where everything goes so I can put it back together pretty easy. Sometimes saws can be a little bit tricky, especially if you don't work on certain brands all the time. This is a Husqvarna brand now. They own the product, but I wasn't able to pull any diagrams offline from them. So I was able to Google it and find what I needed. So again, 49 SP, John Thread saws. Look for the video in the future. Have a good day.